Welcome to this second episode of the Params series. In this episode, you'll see how to put attributes into a different params key using fields for helper. This is required when you have a different model in the form and you want to switch context from the form for tag, which is using a particular model, and you want to just use a different model, and those fields are belonging to that different model than the one you're using in the form for. Let's see an example which will make it clear. I've already created a new project, so we can open this project and start creating some models and controller that we can play with. This will have two models. One is the reader, other one is the computer model, and then I can say it will have one attribute, subtype string. Then I will have another model, reader, that also has a name, and I will have one controller, reader's controller, and some views for us to see what's going on. So let's set up the migration. This is fine. Let's create computers. I will have a references reader, since the computer model will have a belongs to declaration. Belongs to reader, and the reader has one computer, and active record association is set up, database migration has been set up. Now let's see if we can have some methods in the controller. So we'll have a new, which will just create an empty instance of reader object. We saw in the earlier episode why we need this. And we'll also have a create. Create will have reader.new, whatever the params hash has for the reader, we'll just use them to create an instance of reader. Then we can just save it. And then I can just redirect to readers URL. In the index page, it's very similar to last time. We'll just load up all the readers in the database so that we can display them. And now let's go to the views, create an index action. It's very similar to it's the same thing what we did in the previous episode. So I'm just going to copy paste this. We loop through the readers and display that particular reader's favorite computer is, and the computer that we're accessing. This is available because we have a declaration belongs to and has one thing going. So reader object, you can say dot computer, and then since the name is attribute of computer, you can display its value in the view, as you can see here. And then we'll have a new method, new HTML ERB view. So this is a form for reader, and this text field name belongs to this reader object. Now we are switching the context to the computer model. This is the active record we have defined, and fields for, we are saying this will be the name of the params hash, which will have the value for the computer active record, and this is the attribute for that computer object, we'll see in the output how this thing gets passed to the server. Let's create tables, and now we can start the server, create a new instance of a reader slash new. Okay, tampered with cookie. Since it had the same cookies, I have to change it. Let's change it. Or you can actually go to the browser and delete all the cookies from Firefox preferences. You can go to cookies, show cookies, and when you go to the show cookies, when it brings up uh, the list of all cookies, you can actually remove the cookie for the local host. That's also another way to clear the cookies. Okay, now I'm just going to change the name of the cookie thing so that this won't happen. Let's try again. I want to create a new readers. Okay, undefined method readers path. Forgot to define the routes. Resources readers, and let's try again, and there it is. Bugs, MacBook Pro, save. That's happening because of this. Let's go back. And one more thing I need to add to the controller while we are at this thing is I'm going to show you, once I showed you the form how it looks like, and we have association between reader and computer. Reader has one computer, so we can say reader, but we can actually build an instance of it using build underscore that activation object, in this case computer, params of favorite computer is the one that we are going to be passed. So we will use the values there. This will create an instance of computer, and this creates an instance of reader. When you save the reader, since you have an association between reader and computer, active record will automatically persist the computer object also for us. Let's go back and reload just in case. Create, and there it is. Now let's look at the params hash. So look at this, favorite computer is the name of the hash, and that hash has one key and one value corresponding to it, name MacBook Pro. And the readers is another hash, and this hash has one key and one value, which is name, which is bugs. And we have created an instance of readers and persisted it. As you can see, readers record with name, bugs, and the updated value, created value, and then the record for computers is also inserted. It automatically knows the reader ID is 1, which is corresponding to this guy, and it has the value is MacBook Pro. Now the one thing that is interesting is when you display this, it automatically will do a join, like you can see here. Select star from computers where computers dot reader ID is 1. So it knows that record belongs to that guy, and we can display it by looping through the active records association. Okay, now I want to show you this validates associated declaration that you can have in the reader here like this. You can have validates associated computer like this. What this basically does is it prevents, if you have that kind of a declaration, you don't have to do validation here. You don't have to call, valid or not. You don't have to check the object, that computer object is valid or not. It's automatically done for you. It makes sure that computer object is a valid one before it gets persisted. So that's what it buys us. You can read the documentation on it. There is an examples also on it. So let's see if we can do update. Actually, the update in this case is very similar to the previous time, and I also walked you through those things. So it would be something along the lines of you will have an edit, okay, and you will load the reader object, find params of ID, and then in the update you will have something similar. Reader, when edit form loads, you will load that particular form with those values, just like I showed in the previous screencast. And when it goes to update, it will load that particular reader object, and then you can do a update attribute on it. It's very similar. Like this. So that's it for this screencast, and if you enjoyed it, please recommend me on working with Rails. Thank you.